Hey guys, Mrhappy here, and today I'm going to be doing my weekly Q&A, which I'm going to take the advice from one of my comments and do it Mondays with Mrhappy, the weekly Q&A. That way, I'll never forget to do it. So thank you for that recommendation. I guess you consider that me answering one of the questions, since that is under the YouTube video that I'm going to be looking at the questions under. So, just as I said, last week's YouTube video, that's where I'm looking for the questions this week, and I found quite a few, so I'm going to take another sip of my morning coffee since I just woke up, and then we're going to get to it. Well, here's one that I get asked all the time. Mrhappy, you look cool in your shades. Are they special or are they just regular glasses? Because a friend of mine wears them too. And the answer is they are Gunner Optics. I got them at a Best Buy because I was working in New York City and it was really straining my eyes to be in front of so many computers every day. And now I do it for a living anyway, that it's a good idea. To answer the other question I'm sure you might have, yes, they do help me. You just have to actually remember to wear them. They're not prescription or anything. I just wear them for protection. Alright, here's another one that I get all the time. I get it on stream all the time. What happened to XIV Nation? And sorry for not showing up in the stream forever. Don't worry about that part. But simply put, when my other co-host, Mr. Byrne, left the show, I didn't feel like I really had anyone to have a conversation with in the show. It was really just a 30-minute block where I talked about updates to the game. And, you know, I do that on YouTube already. I make videos about everything whenever something happens to the game. And I didn't really feel like a podcast anymore. So that was the reason why XIV Nation stopped. Alright, here's an interesting one. You're colorblind, right? How does it affect you in gaming? You know what? A lot of the times it's not as bad as people think. I like to be a bit of a drama queen over it. But there are times where anything that is a color coordinated challenge, if the colors aren't very different, it becomes very difficult for me to distinguish them. Like a lot of games, their yellows and their greens are very close. Reds and browns are a little bit close to me. And blues and purples are absolutely terrible for me. So it really comes down to the individual game. Specifically in Final Fantasy XIV, I used to have a problem in the first Coil of Bahamut in turn 1, where if there was an AoE on the crystals, I could not see it. It was impossible for me to see. It was invisible. I swear to you, it was invisible. So really, it just depends on the game and how well they've tuned it for colorblind options. Alright, here's one that I might as well answer. Are you ever going to do any more Final Fantasy XI videos? And the short answer is no. The long answer is, after I played it in those videos for maybe 20-25 episodes, the nostalgia was gone. Like, I didn't feel any nostalgia. That's why I started trying out some of the Seekers of Adulin videos. I think that was closer to the mid-30s. But it was just because after I got my initial taste of nostalgia, I felt no more urge to play that game. I feel that I finally quelled all that in my heart, and I no longer have this secret desire to, oh, I want Final Fantasy XI 2.0. No, that feeling is gone for me, okay? Alright, well, here's a Final Fantasy XIV one. Who do you value more as DPS? Dragoon, Monk, or Black Mage? Who do you prefer more as a healer? White Mage or Scholar? Short answer is, I don't care. As a Bard, I like Dragoons more because they make my damage higher. But realistically, every DPS in the game is a lot more equal now than they were in the past. Every DPS can hold its weight. It should never really be something that determines your party makeup or anything like that. At that point, it's just how many melee do you have, how many range do you have. It doesn't really matter which melee and which range that you have. As for White Mage or Scholar, one of each. Like, I prefer playing Scholar. I have a lot more fun with it. I feel like it's also a lot more new player friendly. It's easier to pick up and do because of Eos and Celine. They do a lot of the work for you. But I do feel that it is the harder to master one. I see a lot of White Mages tell me that the job is hard, mostly with MP management. And I will agree, I have touched White Mage very briefly. And MP management is a little bit strange on that job. But realistically, neither one is better. They do different things, you know. That's just my opinion on it. Here's a really basic one. Favorite Final Fantasy? And besides Final Fantasy, what would you consider your favorite game or game series? Now, favorite Final Fantasy is an easy one for me. That's Final Fantasy VI. The very first Final Fantasy I actually played was 8. I actually went 8, 9, 7, and then I played, like, I think it was 5 and then 6 through Anthology, and then it was like 1, 2, and 3 or something. And that's without counting 10, 11, 12, whatever. I played a lot of my Final Fantasies out of order, but throughout it all, 6 has always been my favorite. It's just the pacing of the game is good, the story is good, the characters are interesting. It's not too much focused on one character, which is the whole point of Final Fantasy VI, and I actually really like that aspect about it. Besides Final Fantasy, what would you consider your favorite game or game series? Well, I don't really have a favorite game of all time. Like, Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy, but it's not my favorite game of all time. I don't really have a favorite game of all time. I kind of compartmentalize all the different types of games that I play, and I have a favorite in each category, but I don't have a one favorite that of all time I could go back and play. Like, Super Mario RPG is a game that I love. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time, as simple as it is. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite game or game series other than Final Fantasy. That's my favorite game series. It's the series that got me hooked on video games, really. Here's one that I also get asked in the comments a lot. What music do you have playing in the background? Well, in this video, I believe I credited them. The music is by PopSky. The music you're hearing right now also is by PopSky. They have a Bandcamp website. I'll put it in the description of this video as well. They release cool 8 and 16-bit music, and you know what? They were having a sale, and I just decided, hey, 25 bucks, I'll grab all the songs that I can. Alright, here's one I've had to answer on stream once before. I got into a really heated debate about this one on stream once before. What's your opinion on weekly lockouts such as Second Coil, Soldiery, and Circus Tower? Personally, I feel like it limits how much we can actually play the game. What's your opinion on it? And do you get bored playing since you've already done everything? Well, first let me just say I haven't done everything. If I really wanted to, I could level all the crafting classes to 50. I only have one at 50. I only have Miner and Fisher at 50 for gathering. I can still do botany. There's lots of achievements I can still do, lots of mounts I don't have. There's plenty of things for me to still do in Final Fantasy XIV that, well, personally, I just don't want to do those things. I like the things that I do in the game right now and mostly just do front lines, provide entertainment, raid, things like that. As for my opinion on weekly lockouts, I find them to be a necessity in a game that wants to have a long-standing subscription base, because let's be real here. If I could grind everything out in a week, I would do it. I'm one of those people that would do it. And then I would complain that there's no content for me to do. So I'm glad that there is a weekly lockout. It also keeps the pacing well-rounded for everybody, because casual players can get something done for the week, and even if it takes them the whole week, they can get it done. Whereas the hardcore player will probably get it done on Tuesday and then be like, oh, well, now I don't have to do it again until next week. It really does fit every playstyle, whereas if you can just grind everything infinitely, people are going to get left behind, and then there are people who are just going to steam ahead. It really creates a much larger gap between the hardcore player and the more casual player, and that's not what Final Fantasy XIV is about, in my opinion. Alright, and for the last question I'm going to answer, because I am getting a little bit nasally, it's early in the morning, I haven't had much to eat, and I haven't really done much for the day yet. I'm going to take this last one from Twitter, because I was looking through the rest of the YouTube questions, and didn't really find anything that I haven't answered before. So, last question is going to come from Twitter. Have you ever played any of the Zelda series? If so, would you like to see some puzzle-driven dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV? I have played the Zelda series. I played the ones on the NES and Super Nintendo. I played Ocarina of Time, and I vicariously played Majora's Mask and Wind Waker through a friend of mine. After that, I didn't really continue with the Zelda series because I wasn't big on continuing to buy the Nintendo systems. I got a Wii U, I got a Wii, not a Wii U, years later just for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and even that I barely touch. It just sits in my closet now. So, yeah, I actually would like to see something that's more puzzle-driven, but I wouldn't want it incorporated into the hardcore PvE content. I would like to see sort of like Guild Wars 2 has jumping puzzles, but there actually are some that have a puzzle aspect to them, or at least that's how I remember it being. I would like things like that, but not a legitimate, hey, this boss, you might be skilled enough to beat it, but if you can't figure this puzzle out, sorry. Imagine that in the Duty Finder. You better hope you have 4 scholars when it comes to that, because otherwise you're not going to get past it. And that's it for the second weekly Q&A with Mrhappy. I tried to answer as many questions as I could. Be sure to ask your questions in the comments below as well, so I can read them next Monday. Try to avoid putting them on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, I had to really go back and look, because I've had a lot of Twitter comments since then, to find anything more, just to check, just in case. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Q&As. And until next time, take care.